What's up, everybody? Rob Nakamura, and I'm here with the High Chief, Zac Pauga. Together, we're fully hydrated. I find something super unique, odd, and kind of funky being in fighters' pockets and fighters putting their financial status out there on top of just career earnings discussions. Specifically, UFC fighters have like the weirdest, most transparent, and ugly financial situations out of all professional sports. I don't know any other sport that is this much discussed about people's personal finances. It's very odd to me. I didn't see it in racing. I don't know of it in any other arena. Zach, man of many sports, you talented man, you. Was this in this wasn't anywhere, right? Like in the NFL, people only talk about the highest contract. Nobody's going, hey bro, you're at league minimum. Like I never hear that. Like nobody talks about that from a fan point.
Yeah, it's weird from both angles. If you're Conor McGregor throwing the money into the crowd, that's weird. If you're Sedriques Dumas saying you only have $16 going to that fight, that's weird. It just makes no sense. I love Charles Johnson. I think is the one that did it last week. Said that the account was negative before this fight. And it just like, you open the door when you do that. When people go, wait, you've had 10 fight of the night. You've made $500,000. How is your account negative? Like, what do you do? What are you doing? And the answer is that we don't know. We don't know. But why is he telling us? Like, what? Like, we don't know and we shouldn't know. But why is he telling everyone about his negative account? But before this fight, it makes no sense to me. Like, what? Unless you're putting your GoFundMe out there, like, what do you hope? What is Sedriques Dumas hoping to achieve by showing us the $16 in his bank account? Is it his opponent's not going to fight less hard because he knows you have no money? I don't understand this trend that's kind of happening.
And shout out to Perry Punch for picking up on this. Sedriques Dumas posted it in his Instagram. He was able to capitalize on it and notice it and share it out there. And then the words he chose, I'm going to zero in on Sedriques right now. The words he chose, like, oh, I got so much money. This is what happens when you got to, and I'm paraphrasing the hell out of this, but basically you got to pay your legal fees and like handle your big boy shit. And I'm just like, that's not a flex. That's not even something you want to be talking about. Like, oh, I got to handle my legal shit. Like, you just, like, what? Like, and like you said, was this for sympathy? Like, because a lot of people be talking crazy noise on you since your arrest, and then you couldn't make a fight because you still had your ankle monitor on. But like, was that a sympathy tactic? Were you trying to resonate with some people? Be like, yeah, life's tough, but I'm still moving. Because like, I was trying to be positive and trying to extrapolate that from it. But I was like, if that was your angle, dude, you delivered it like shit. Like you said, that's so weird. Like, yeah, dude, we know you're in legal trouble. That's pretty fucking obvious.
And here's the truth. Let me tell you the absolute 100% bona fide truth about fighters. And I include myself in this. So don't think I'm talking trash, people. If you are going to more than one time go fight other human beings in a cage, you're an idiot, right? You're a moron, okay? But you gotta have good people around you that are gonna take care of you. And they're gonna say, hey man, don't post your boy bank account on Instagram maybe, right? And that's with the fighters that you see skyrocket to the top, it's because they have good people around them that they listen to. And then the other ones don't make their own decisions. It's like I said, I include myself in this discussion, and it is just the truth. As a fighter, you have to have good people in your ear that are telling you the right stuff to do.
Absolutely. And, as we're discussing this, it makes me think of the age range and grouping. Like these younger people, they will put everything and capital letters, everything on the internet. Why? Why would you put your bank account online? That's just weird. So yeah, there's a lot of this new generation ultra transparency backwards goofball maneuvers that happen when you do it like that. And CJ's Charles Johnson, that his story was unique and odd, but it's like, what was the point of that? And not even criticizing him, but then to the media people latching onto it. And yeah, I'm pointing at you, Nose. I'm pointing at you, Ariel, to jump on it and make it a story from there. Like, hey, brother's not having a good time. So what? I don't find the need to, hey, let's make this a story. There's a little bit of vultures and just people, the amount of people talking about fighter pay all the time. This discussion I hear all the time, which is stupid. Like, there's not one single other profession or thing that I deal with in my regular life or ever. Like, when I go to the doctor, I'm like, hey, so, where you at in your pay? You pretty good? Like, still got a bunch of loans? Like, what's life like? Like, I think it's just a weird thing to care about. And to the other thing, what business is it?
Yeah.
And ask me for money. And then your finances is not any of my business. It's like your sex life. You don't ask that, right? That's personal stuff. Am I off base, bro? Or do you think the same?
No, so you're 100% correct. And it's like, maybe because they're the ones that are sharing the information, it's something to talk about. But I agree with you. Now we're getting down like, it's not the UFC's fault that these dudes are not good with their money. It's not the UFC's fault that he has legal bills paid because he went in and robbed somebody, right? Like, that's not the UFC's fault. But there's these Ariels, and I like Ariel. I actually like his show. He covers a lot of good stuff. But the Ariels, the Luke Thomases, like, their business is hating on the UFC. Doesn't matter okay, we're giving up the bonuses. When you go to your doctor, are you like, hey, what is the split that you're getting from Kaiser, right? What's the split from the hospital that you're getting? For whatever reason, it's something to talk about, something to hate on, but that's why they want to bring it up. And it's like, you're 100% right.
And I'm going to flip this around to another point of view, which also kind of makes it weird, is supporting my cousins who's in the lower levels of MMA years ago. And that journey, you went through the regional scene. Like, everybody knows fighting on the regional scene is not profitable. You're not a full-time fighter at that point. You can't like fully live on your own. So how do they go from surviving? Because it's like a 6 to 8 year road to get to the UFC. So you managed your life for 6 to 8 years as a professional athlete, not making full-time athlete pay, then get to the show, and then you have like, that part doesn't make any sense to me. You survived on less than ramen money, and now that you're getting at least better, I'm not going to say the best, but you're getting better pay.
Yeah.
It's worse? Like, how does it get better but worse?
Yeah, and that's like, I actually seen this happen a lot. And maybe this is where you can say the UFC could do better, right? If you are fighting in the UFC, you probably should be able to have that be your only job. That's not how it works, though. That's 10 and 10, right? 10 and 10. Pay your coaches, pay your manager. You're probably going to have to do something else. And people think, okay, I just won my Contender Series fight. I'm a UFC fighter. I'm quitting my job. I'm going all in. Well, and then you lose. Sedriques Dumas, exactly what happened. Then he loses his first fight. Well, now you got $10,000. Your manager still wants to get paid. Your coaches still want to get paid. Okay, you just quit your job, did a 3-month training camp, and you made $5,000. Like, and you go rob somebody, and you get caught, and now you got to pay your lawyer to defend yourself, and you got $16 in the account, man. It's, like I said, fighters are not smart. And this is not down talking to any fighter. I'm talking to myself right now.
Respect. Definitely respect on that. Because goofy maneuvers with money happen at every level. We're talking about the entry-level guys on the shorter end contracts. And then that's why you see people usually around their second contract, you'll see them say stuff like, oh, I quit my job, or I'm going full-time. Some guys do it earlier if they have the support to, or they figured out life and other things. But I want to point further up the hill. Someone who attached his name to money and then rejected a bunch of free money. Money Moicano. Easy money? No, really, really hard money for Moicano, because he could have had easy money. He said no. If you don't know about that, he opted out of the lawsuit payments. Well, then a week later, Anderson Silva gets served up a golden platter, which, he probably deserves all that. But still, it's his bag of cash and has a happy day with himself. And now everybody's looking at Moicano like, hey, buddy, that could have been you. Now, of course, his portion wouldn't be the same amount, but still, we got guys at the entry level being goofy, giving up money. We got guys at the higher level throwing money into the air or lighting it on fire, if you will. Your thoughts on that, man? Because Moicano's payment would have been at least
$200,000 is what he said it was. Yeah, he said it was $200,000 that he turned down, and yeah, it was based on the amount of fights that he had, and that's why Anderson's was so big. But I think I said this exact same thing when we talked about it. I respect Moicano what he said on the surface level. I respect that he said, I signed a piece of paper. I stand by my word. I wouldn't come back and ask for more later. I respect that. But like, this money was justly given, scammed. They didn't pull one over off the UFC. The UFC actually settled it and got out of it with losing a lot less than they should have. But you see this especially more now, with everyone having a podcast, everyone being on YouTube. Fighters have some interesting ideas and some interesting thoughts. Moicano saying, I'm Money Moicano, but I won't take 200 grand for free that you just give to me that I fought for because you gave predatory contracts before, but I signed that predatory contract. Like that these lawyers, all these people with law degrees read these over and said, it actually should have been this amount. And the UFC agreed to it. The company that you signed the contract agreed, said, okay, whatever, take this money, get out of here. You say, no, keep your 200 grand.
I hope he has a great life and makes tons of money and never has to think about this 200 grand that he left behind. But as we know, the fight game is a short story and life is long. And I just hope it doesn't turn out, something, because 200 grand,
so that's
a lot of money.
And that's, you just hit the nail on the head right there about one of the hardest things about being a fighter. You get big lump sums of money. Like it's not 200 grand, but I'm just getting paid for my karate combat tournament right now. Feeling rich, feel like I'm sitting on all this money, feeling rich. But you're 100% right. I'm not going to be able to do this for 10 more years, and I got to make this money last or turn it into some other kind of career. 10 years from now, Moicano's going to really wish he had an extra 200 grand in his 401k in whenever he's doing, right? I signed a piece of paper, I stand by it. It's not going to take care of your family, 10 years from now.
It ain't going to do that. And let's go into that. 100% like you, on like the noble, on the like, honorable, that was extremely honorable. Like, you said, I made the agreement, tough shit. Like, I'm going to deal with that. Much love and respect. And I wish people had that kind of sentiment and serious feelings towards weight cutting and making the weight, right? Like you signed the paper, you agreed, like take the Moicano approach. Like that's the number, no other number. That's the number you have to make. And so, yeah, on that, man, I just hope this trend of one, like fighters slow down. Don't be posting your bank account. Two, maybe slow down. If you want to express your hardship, if you're going through, I'm not saying bottle up your feelings and don't share what's real, but maybe leave the specifics out of it. Just say you're in a hard time. Do you have to specifically say you're negative in your account? Do you specifically have to show $16? If you said you're broke because you're eating a bunch of legal fees, I'm sure everybody would understand and be like, yeah, that makes perfect sense, dude. People don't have to share everything. On the other side of that, fans, like, okay, as someone who does try to help people get sponsorships or brand deals and get like money flowing to the athletes in alternative ways, unless you're out there with a business to advertise with the fighters, or you're giving, because there are lots of nice people that just give money out of support, unless you're actually doing that, which is very small percentage of you out there that are fans and do the same thing at the times, shut the fuck up. Like, if you ain't helping, shut up. Just shut up. Like, it's dumb. It's dumb. You ain't giving, so it's not your say. Not your kuleana in Hawaiian words. Like, you got none. It's not your business. Like, leave it alone. And there you go. That was my angry rant. I had to just let it out. Eddie.
No, that was good. Yeah, and I got the same route. Listen, and yes, I think I've said this 100 times on this podcast. Fighters want to get paid more. I'm not going to turn down more money, right? Fighter pay. If you've ever illegally streamed a UFC, shut up about fighter pay. Don't talk about fighter pay.
The amount of times you go search my X, the amount of times that I've retorted on people because they'll be saying all kinds of stuff. I was like, did you buy the pay-per-view? No. I've said similar words, Zach. That's the perfect one. If you haven't bought a pay-per-view or you stream, like Zach's more critical. That Zach's how to have a harder line than mine. If you've ever streamed, then yeah, shut up. You don't get to say nothing. I say if you haven't bought a pay-per-view in the past calendar year, you also get to shut up. But yeah, I like Zach's mode a little bit better. All right. So any other final thoughts on the way people coming in and out on the money game and anything like that. Nope. Well, with that being said, folks, once again, thank you for sharing, commenting, and going the distance with us. It's been a good time. We'll see you next time. But in the meantime, stay fully hydrated.